All right, what's up, YouTube? As you probably noticed, the markets were up pretty big time yesterday. As you can see, last few 24 hours, 10, 15%, 18%. The whole market is green. Was of course because Donald Trump paused the tariffs for 90 days for most countries except China. So, what's going on? First is that the tariffs now not anymore. You see, the whole market is green. Why is that? Well, probably because there was a lot of critique, also from his close allies. You see here two billionaires, Ekman and Druckenmiller, very famous in Wall Street, called it a mistake, the tariffs. As we read here, condemned the decision to launch expansive global tariffs. It's a mistake, said Ekman. And I do not support tariffs exceeding 10%, which I made abundantly clear in the interview, blah, blah. Druckenmiller wrote Sunday. So, two billionaires critiquing the tariffs from Trump. So that, of course, causes some inside pressure. The whole world was already critiquing the tariffs because they were outrageous. You cannot just tariff the whole world like 50%, something like that, without hurting your own economy. Because if you put tariffs on foreign products, when you import goods, of course, the people who import it will just make the stuff more expensive to consumers because they have to pay themselves more. So in the end, you're only screwing your own consumers. The U.S. citizens would have to pay a lot more for stuff that's coming abroad. So of course it wouldn't work. That's why billionaires like Ekman, Druckenmiller, and others like said they were a mistake and not a good idea. They aren't really objective either, like 100% objective either. Um, like the billionaire Ekman, for instance, he has like a very big stake in Nike. Here you can see Nike 3-year call options. And of course, these options and these assets would drop in value if um, tariffs were like really come into play. So these people are pretty biased themselves, but still they said it right this time. They're right. So the tariffs are now on hold for at least 90 days. What's going to happen? Well, of course, this move was pretty weird and not as I expected, and that's why some people like the Democratic Party in America is causing the Trump administration of market manipulation. Market manipulation. Like, what does this mean? Because of tariff reversal. So let's read here. Yesterday, 10 minutes after the opening bell on the New York Stock Exchange, Trump announced this is a great time to buy. This is, of course, before he announced the 90-day pause. Then 4 hours later, the president reversed course. He paused and lowered tariffs on goods from most nations for 90 days, while raising tariffs on imports from China to 125%. Of course, the market soared. This is what we saw here. Everything went green, of course, 10-15% up. S&P 500 had a gut candle, 9.5% up. And this was weird because at the same time, the White House officials said one day earlier, who just one day earlier said Trump would never back off, said this was his strategy all along and the art of the deal at work. So this is pretty weird. If you say one day the tariffs will never go away, or we will never back off, and the next day, oh, the tariffs are at hold for 90 days. It's of course pretty strange. And of course, social media erupted with accusations by the reverse pump and dump scheme with the American economy, driving stock prices down only to buy them for yourself when they are cheap. And then you post a tweet saying like, "Oh no, the tariffs are on hold," because you know the price is gonna pump, and then the price rise again, and then you make a lot of money. Um, some people, like the Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, are calling for an investigation into insider trading. Of course, insider trading is illegal. What is insider trading? If you trade with insider knowledge, then you have an unfair advantage over other people, and that's considered illegal. So if you know the markets are going to go down or up for sure, like if you're a very like powerful person like a president, then you can of course not trade with this kind of information. So this is, of course, many people say this is like market manipulation. I agree. I don't see any other scenario like being possible here. This is, of course, market manipulation. He knew the markets were going to pump if he told the tariffs were on hold. So this is not really fair compared to other people. To me, this reminds me of the pump and dump scheme of his crypto coin he launched like I think 2 months ago, at the beginning of February, where a lot of people lost a lot of money, and the launch of that crypto coin drew all the liquidity out of the markets. It was kind of like the same. So we're gonna wait. What's gonna happen in America? Maybe there will be some consequences. Um, I won't be too hopeful. I'm afraid there won't be any consequences, or at least those will be not be very hard, because of course the president has a lot of power, and on top of that, it's really difficult to prove like market manipulation, like insider trading. Like you could just say like he didn't know what he was doing, or he just changed his mind or whatever. So this is just what you saw, like the rich people getting richer, billionaires getting richer, Trump getting richer, his insider friends getting richer, but normal people, especially if you sold during the fall of stocks, then you lost big time. I didn't sell anything. I just hold on. I bought even more. Yesterday's videos I said like, is this a bottom? We don't know for sure, but I already bought because I believe that's the best option. If we continue from here, this of course will pay me out. That will be a great. That will be the best decision I made. If you look at the S&P 500, we're not full in the clear yet, because I think we need to break this high in order to be bullish again, because this market structure is going down like bear structure, and ideally we want to see something like this. This got candles very high. There is a chance we're going to open a little bit lower, because this pump went so fast that we didn't have there wasn't enough chance to for other people to buy or even to sell that price. So, and the market doesn't like imbalances, so there's a big chance it will go down a little bit today, and then after that, coming few days, it might pump again. So we might see something like this, opening today like this, closing around here, and then like going up, going up above this high, come back down, make a higher low or lower high, and then continue rallying up. This is something that might happen in the coming few days. Of course, it depends on the tariffs. Are they really gone? Are they really on hold? Maybe he changes his mind again tomorrow, and then the markets might drop again. It's a very tough situation. In my video of yesterday, I predicted a couple scenarios. This scenario wasn't like for me the most likely outcome, because this is very like very like impulsive. Um, but still, if he uses this 90-day pause to negotiate with other countries, then it might be a very good situation. And because that situation was for me the most likely outcome, that he would just use this as a pressure method to negotiate with other countries, because of course these ranges of tariffs like 30%, 40%, 50%, these are outrageous. You're going to destroy your own economy. The US already has to deal with a super high inflation. So does the rest of the world, primarily Europe. People are not going to be happy with this. It's just going to tank their own economy. Billionaires are not happy. Of course, they're protecting their own interest. As we saw, like the billionaire Bill Ackman has a very big stake in Nike stock, and Nike stocks make products in China and Vietnam. I believe they changed their production in Vietnam a few years ago, and the tariffs from Vietnam were like 30-40%. So that's not gonna look good anyway. So of course, these people are protecting the interest, and they're vying for lower tariffs. We'll see what's going to happen. Nobody knows for sure. I'm happy I already bought. If the market continues to go down even further, I will buy more. And that's what I believe is the best thing to do for right now. Okay, drop your thoughts and comments below in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next video.